Today's an exciting day. I just got home from work in the grocery store, but I got a seed delivery today, so we have 2 packages to go inside and open, which I'm so excited for. And I just came out here quickly, like I do every day after I get home from work, and I turned on my drip hoses. I've stopped watering the garden months ago. I was just relying on the rain that we got here sporadically, and my garden seemed to be doing fine. I didn't have any shriveling or anything, so that's a plus. Like, I haven't watered these tomatoes in God knows how long, and they just look beautiful, and they are still loaded down with tomatoes. But my tomatoes still look absolutely wonderful, and they are putting off so much fruit still. I've noticed that I get a lot more cherry tomatoes than I have slicers, but I have a lot of decently sized slicers on these plants that will hopefully be ready within the next couple weeks. I've still got my 2 bell peppers in the ground. This one, I have harvested so many bell peppers off this season, and this one just started off looking yellow and tiny, and it is just sizing up. So I don't know if I'll be getting any fruit from that. I can see that they're starting to bud, but I don't know how it'll do. I don't rip it out just because the potential of it being food. Last weekend I came out here and I pulled the cucumbers off of this trellis just because I hadn't even been picking them. I had just been letting them get large and yellow on the vine. So I pulled those out and I planted a round of pole beans on each side of the trellis to try and get one last bean harvest before the frost. In my area, the first frost is estimated around October 17th. And then also in this bed, I have a row of beets, a row of carrots down the middle, and then I put 6 broccoli plants in here. And I did just direct sow into this area because I had started plants in like a seed tray and they got really leggy, and then they dried out because I didn't water them. So I've started more stuff in the cell tray to see if they can get to a decent size by the time that I rip out all the tomatoes. Since the tomatoes are still doing so great, I don't want to obviously rip them out until they are completely done for this season. So I have stuff up by the house in the cell trays that hopefully by the time the tomatoes have worked their way out, they will be transplanted into this tomato bed. Beans really aren't producing a whole lot at this point, also because my seed packets got mixed up and I accidentally planted runner beans over here when I thought they were bush beans. I'm still getting like a handful or 2 of beans like every week, I would say. I don't get them real regularly. So I don't know how much longer until I rip those bean plants out and try something new, but for right now, I'm content with the 1 handful of green beans that I'm getting. Just like last night, I only had a handful of green beans, but I threw them in a chicken pot pie. Hi everybody. I just found those old clips from back in mid-September in my camera roll, so I figured I would throw them, I would just throw them together the best that they could be thrown together. And I realized that I lost my seed unboxing for you guys, and I love watching people unbox seeds and talk about the varieties that they're excited to grow. So I figured I would just come here at the end of the video and show you a wrap up of the seeds. Now, I don't remember what seeds specifically came in those 2 orders that I was referring to in the beginning of this video. So I just went through my whole seed collection, which is like over 200 seeds at this point, and I grabbed the stuff out that I know I've purchased recently, but I don't know which ones are the 2. So we're just going to go over all the new stuff since I planted the summer garden. So the stuff that I haven't had a chance of growing yet that's going to be in next year's garden but wasn't in this year's garden. So I'm going to try and not say too much about each one, but there's just a lot here, and it is late at night, but I have plans tonight, so I am on a little bit of a time restraint, so I can't sit here and talk to you guys for for 3 hours about seeds like I normally would. So I'm just gonna kind of break them down into categories of stuff. That way you guys can have an idea of what I'm growing next year, the stuff that if you guys follow along, you can expect me to see grow for the first time next year. And they're all varieties, like I said, that I'm very, very excited about. So yeah, we're just gonna run through them roughly at a high speed. So just starting, I buy a lot of my green beans and peas just from the Dollar Tree type of packs, and they usually don't change their seeds. I've been buying seeds from Dollar Tree for 8-9 years at this point, and they always have the same varieties. So a lot of like the normal Blue Lake beans or the Cherokee wax, I just go to Dollar Tree for those if I don't have seeds that I've saved, just because it does offset my seed budget a lot. Because if I go to the store and I buy the common varieties from the Dollar Tree for 25 cents, then I'm saving this. I spent $3.50 for this pack of beans. Granted, there's a lot more in here, but if I go to Dollar Tree and spend 25 cents on a pack, then, you know, I'm saving like $3 roughly per pack of seed from purchasing the common stuff at the Dollar Tree for cheap, instead of going online and buying it for more when I'm going to get the same product. It allows me to stretch my budget a little bit more to be able to buy the extra tomato or pepper or melon varieties that I really want to try. So a lot of my seeds and stuff are from Dollar Tree when it comes to zinnias and certain melons, squash, and beans and stuff. The certain melons, flowers, lettuce, peppers, tomatoes, those are the things that I really go online for, because I love the novelty of growing the different varieties. So I just picked up a Kentucky Wonder Pole bean from Botanical Interests because I wanted to try, I've never tried pole beans before. I usually always do bush variety. So I want to dedicate a trellis in my garden next year to try pole beans, just because I feel like it would be easier to harvest them if they're hanging down on a trellis. But again, I've never done pole beans before, so we're just gonna try it and see what happens. And then from MI Gardener, I got just this Thomas Laxton pea. Now I do use a lot of peas in my cooking, and I specifically picked this one up because it says that it is a shelling pea commercially grown for its production. Nutrient dense peas, flavorful, easy to grow, no trellising needed for this little plant. So in my limited space, I am planning by adding 2 more raised beds and then growing in grow bags next year. I'm planning on, I'm pretty sure, at least doubling my space, if not tripling it. So I'm trying to figure out things that I can grow in grow bags that don't require me to trellis, because again, that's just one less hassle to try and figure out how to have staking and trellising in grow bags. So that's why I picked up those. Let's just move into the smaller batches of stuff. So I've gotten 2 carrots here, both from MI Gardener. MI Gardener is a really good seed company that I go to, just because all of their seeds, they used to sell seeds back in high school which was 6 years ago at this point. They used to sell all their seeds for $1. So I loved going to them, but of course, due to inflation and everything, they now sell them for $2 a pack, no matter what seed it is. Website wide, it's $2, which I think is really good for people that want to expand the varieties that they're growing in their garden, but they don't want to go to some place like Baker Creek where you get 1 pack of seeds for like $4. So again, if you're on a budget, MI Gardener is a great resource to go to. So I've got 2 different types of carrots here. Now, when I look at carrot varieties, I've never had luck with carrot varieties. Most of my gardening experience has been in Maryland, in the Maryland clay, and it was a strictly in-ground garden, and my resources were very limited. So I just kind of worked with what I had and tried my best with just growing in the soil there. I didn't have any resources at the time or the money to spend on amending soil or getting like the proper gardening equipment, which I hate to say that because you don't need proper gardening equipment. Like, you can grow with what you have, and I encourage that for everybody. And for a lot of years when I gardened, that's what I did. I just did with what I had. And if it impacted my harvest at all, I just took it for what it was worth. At least I was getting the hands-on experience and getting my hands in the soil and at least learning. So that's kind of how I take it. Not everything has to be ideal. Now, I've been gardening for a while now, and that is why now that I have a little bit of extra money to dedicate to this passion, this year was my first year going out and buying actual like seeds from companies that I really wanted to get like heirloom things from. Usually, like I said, I am just growing those Dollar Tree different types of varieties. So now that I'm in a place where I can spend a little bit of extra money and build raised garden beds, and my boyfriend is a farmer, so they have plenty of dirt that he can just bring home and cow manure that he can just bring home without me having to go to like a Lowe's or Home Depot and buy pallets and pallets of soil. It gives me the opportunity to be able to grow the way that I'm growing, and investing in the things like grow bags that I'm going to be doing this next season and stuff is something that I'm able to do in this position. But that's not to say, like, I've been gardening in yogurt cups and red Solo cups and egg cartons and strawberry containers for years, and it does the job. This year I'm looking into finally investing in some bootstrap farmer stuff just to make it easier. But while it is easier, you don't need the fancy stuff in order to grow a garden. I highly encourage you guys just to make do with what you got. And it doesn't have to be pretty. As long as you're doing something that you love, you can find the romance in it. I 110% believe in romanticizing life and living slow and taking the time to soak in the moments that we're given. So just make do with what you have. Don't let people make you feel like what you're doing or your garden is insignificant or less than, because it's not. As long as you're learning a skill, especially in today's world where so many people have moved away from learning skills that really are fundamental, it's important that people are interested in things like this. And I think it's beautiful that certain people have passions about some of the most basic things that our society used to do. Like, this used to not be just a hobby. It used to be like, people had to grow their own food, you know? And now we live in a time where we can go to the store and people get so used to that. So when people are trying to learn and bring themselves into a place where they grow their own food or understand how things grow, it is so beautiful. So anyway, with that little speech being said, make do with what you have and just do your best, and don't let anybody make you feel less than. I got 3 different cucumber varieties here. Now, this Armenian yard-long cucumber from M.I. Gardener just looked so cool, like with the stripes on it. So really, I just got this because of the way it looks. It intrigued me. And this is the Space Master 80. Now, I tried the Muncher cucumber last year and I did not like it. I'm going to try them one more time and see if they grow differently in different conditions. I'm thinking maybe because they were planted in a raised bed, I might try them in a grow bag. I might try them in a raised bed again and just do a little bit of different conditions, a different area, not next to the same things, trying to keep up with the watering a little bit more, and see if I like the Muncher cucumbers. But I did not love them. I am very tempted to just throw in the towel with them, but I know that if it was a me mistake and I miss out on it, that I'd be sad to grow them in years to come and realize that I actually love them. So I'm gonna give them one more shot, but I did pick up another slicing cucumber just for me to try again next year. Now, what I did learn from last year is I preferred just eating the pickling cucumbers. So I'm gonna try this year with another slicer variety, and if I still don't like the slicer variety, I'm just solely going to turn to a pickling variety that I can pickle and also eat fresh. And then Jess from Roots and Refuge introduced me to cucamelons, and they have always intrigued me. And now that I have my own garden and the money to spend $2 to buy this pack of seeds, I'm so excited to actually get my experience in with these after seeing Jess grow them for years. And I do want to get into pumpkins next year just because I think that pumpkins are so cool. So I got a sugar pie pumpkin to make my own pumpkin puree because I love pumpkin. My dad always jokes because I guess I've always loved pumpkin, and he told me if I ever like own a business, I need to have it something pumpkin related because I guess it was just that big of me as a kid, and growing up I loved pumpkin. So I've got some jack-o'-lantern pumpkins and then this Howden pumpkin from Botanical Interest. I got these two just because they're some nice big just classic orange pumpkin that you can carve. And then I've got this bluish green pumpkin, which I'm not even going to try with my dyslexia to pronounce it, but this is from Botanical Interest, and I'm just so excited for this to be sitting on my front porch next year. I think it's going to be so beautiful next to some mums or something. And then again, just because the beauty of it sitting on my front porch for like a fall display, I got this khaki pumpkin from My Gardener. And then these are just some of those small baby white pumpkins that I got from Botanical Interest last year, but I never planted because I didn't have a good way to plant these last year. So I still have not grown these yet, even though they're a year old at this point. Next, we're gonna hop right through the melons and the squash. So I've only got one squash that I'm gonna try new next year, a spaghetti squash, because we eat a lot of spaghetti in this house and both of us are trying to watch our diets a little bit, and I feel like this will be a good option if we like it. I vaguely remember making spaghetti squash pasta like one time, like 11 years ago. And I don't remember if I liked it or if I hated it. So we're just gonna grow our own and see how it goes. It looks fantabulous when you look at the recipes online. So we'll see. I love honeydew and cantaloupe. So I already have cantaloupe seeds. I picked up some honeydew seeds to go along with that. And then this is another, the Kajari melon is something that I watched Jess from Roots and Refuge grow for years, and I've always been so intrigued by it. So this year, I finally purchased it for next year's garden. And while I was looking at those Kajari melons, I found this mango melon, and it drew my eye because the picture that Baker Creek has on their website for this is a pie. And I do want to look into berry bushes and fruit trees and stuff for next year and figure out which ones I'm going to purchase, because we know that this is not our forever home. So I'm trying to figure out what I can grow in pots and take with me, and what can't. So this being used to make pies is very intriguing, because if I can use this to make a pie and it to be sweet and yummy, just like berries, then I feel like that'll be great. And then I've got two new watermelon seeds. I have like 3 or 4 different types of watermelons that I have in there, but they're just seeds that I've bought from like the Home Depot and Walmart displays, and I bought them last year. But these are the 2 new that I got from My Gardener that I'm excited to try. It's the Moon and Stars. I think I saw Jess grow this years and years ago, but I saw it again, and I just think that it's really cool. So we're gonna try that. And then this Crimson Sweet just looks like a classic melon, but not the huge melon. So I don't know. These are just some melons that we're gonna try. I love melons during the summer. So if I can grow them instead of purchasing them, because I cannot stand purchasing melons at the store because they can be so expensive sometimes. I've got 2 gourds here. I bought these from My Gardener. I got the loofah gourd because I'd like to be able to make my own dish sponges, and some birdhouse gourds because I want birdhouses to hang up with bird feeders when I get the front area displayed of all the flowers and stuff, the front garden beds, because I want to put hydrangeas out there. I want to put my hibiscus out there. I want to put my perennial flowers out there and my perennial herbs and stuff. So I want the front yard and the side yard to be like my perennial flower space. So I'd really like some birdhouses to hang up next to my bird feeders and stuff that I want to put out front. So I got some birdhouse boards to kind of maybe paint and make my own kind of birdhouses. I think that would be really cool. And then quickly we're going to go just run through my flowers that I have picked out so far for my garden next year. There are still so many that I have my eye on. So I definitely feel like this winter I will be putting in some more seed orders for flowers specifically for my garden beds. But I remember growing up, my dad would always get carnations with me. So I got the 3 colors that My Gardener offers. It's a white, like a sherbety, and like a light pink of just the normal carnations. We got a black swan poppy just because the way it's all like almost like a teddy bear sunflower looking kind of deal was really cool. It caught my eye. I've got like a copper and a deep purple straw flower. I've got these dwarf sunflowers because I grew sunflowers in the back last year, but they were just the normal tall ones. And these ones only get between 2 and 3 feet. So I don't want big sunflowers that just kind of grow tall and lean in the front to make the house look like a disaster. So I'm going to grow the tall sunflowers out back next year again. But these are short that I can use for cutting and in arrangements and stuff. And they only get, like I said, 2 to 3 feet tall. So I feel like I can easily put them out in the front yard and not worry about them being an eyesore for the neighbors. So next I have a lot of zinnias because zinnias like have my heart, but I got this Envy zinnia from My Gardener. It's just a green zinnia. Now some of these packs are open because I love sharing seeds. So I've shared seeds with people. I've divided the packs up, but this is just a blend of zinnias from Botanical Interest, and I really got this one because the red and this white zinnia really caught my eye, and I haven't seen a blend with these specific colors in it, so I think they're going to be beautiful out front. This is an Eden Brothers pack of the Queen Lime mix. I was very intrigued about the Queen Lime variety of zinnias, and I figured buying the mix would save me a little bit of money instead of buying all the different types of Queen Lime. So I just got the mix so I can kind of get all colors. And then this is just a salmon color zinnia that I got from Eden Brothers because I thought it was so beautiful. Let's see, I think that's all of my, yes. I got a daisy because my daisies and black-eyed Susans grew like wildflowers on the side of the road all over Maryland. So my dad and I have so many good memories together of him pulling over and us picking wildflowers on the side of the road. So I have some black-eyed Susans that I'm going to plant, but I also got some daisies that I can plant. I got a rose snapdragon, some bells of Ireland just for some height and some depth to my arrangements that I'm going to make, and then a rose and a purple aster. Next, I just got a few kind of leafy dealios. I love romaine lettuce, so I just got 2 different varieties. I've already started planting these out in the garden, that's why they're open, but I got 2 different varieties of romaine lettuce to try. And then this is just, I just picked a random spinach. I didn't really see a difference between most of them. I usually cook spinach in a lot of my pasta dishes, so, and I put them in smoothies and stuff. So I wanted to make sure I have spinach, and this is the one that I just grabbed. I don't think there's anything too special about it. And then I've heard people for years talking about dinosaur kale. So I finally went ahead and picked up myself some dinosaur kale because I only have experience growing that blue curl kale. We're gonna run through some herbs real quick. So from My Gardener, Jess really loves basil. She talks about basil a lot on her channel, and I didn't realize that there was more than one type of basil until she started talking about it, and I fell in love with basil, like homegrown basil this year in my garden. Absolutely loved it. So of course, me being me, I went on My Gardener's website when they were having a seed sale and got every type of basil that they offered. So I got some mammoth basil, which Jess uses for like wraps and stuff too. Like it's just a big leaf type basil. This is a small like indoor kind of pot basil that I'm excited for. I got a holy basil, a licorice basil, Thai basil, a lemon basil, a cinnamon basil, a blue spice, and a queen basil. So I'm so excited for all the different basil varieties. I'm going to start a lot of basil next year and just plug them in little empty spaces all around my garden. So I'm so excited to try all those. And then I've never been successful with lavender, so we're going to try again this year and see if I can get it planted out here in this front garden beds that I'm going to hopefully get established here before winter. I have spearmint and one other type of mint, but I found this lemon mint, and I want to get some actual plastic or terracotta type pots for the deck because I will not be putting mint in the ground. I learned that when we rented a house. We rented a townhouse for a handful of years, and the mint just grew. Someone had planted mint in the front yard and it came back every year. And I have very, very good memories of picking the mint and rooting the mint with my dad. But that really did teach me to never plant mint in the ground, ever. And then I got some cone flower and some calendula, because calendula is something that Jess had introduced me to, and I've never grown it before. So that's exciting. And then we're gonna run through my pepper plants. Now I got a bunch of sweet peppers and I got some hot peppers. So they're just all kind of mixed together since I pulled them out of my seed pack. But the mini bells is something I'm really excited about. I got a pumpkin spice, jalapeno, a Jamaican yellow mushroom, fire and ice patio. I pronounce some of these, but Pasilla maybe, and Big Jim, cayenne purple, a tam jalapeno, a brown jalapeno, orange spice jalapeno, Santa Fe, Hungarian wax. This fish pepper is something that Jess grew years back, and I think it was on the cover of the Baker Seek catalog 2 years ago. But the variegation on this plant, I know it's gonna be way too hot for me to even enjoy eating, but I figured a little bit here and there I might be able to take if I mix it into like a whole dish, like a tiny sliver maybe. But the variegation is solely what is making me want to grow this and just get the experience of it. Habanada, because I can't deal with heat. And I grew the nadapinos last year, but they didn't really produce much. But I think that's because I grew them in ground and they didn't like that. So I'm going to try the nadapinos again in a grow bag next year, and hopefully they do a lot better. Oh, I got the Jimmy Nardello, which I hear Asia from Yellow Door Urban Homestead talk about these a lot. So I'm excited. And then, I don't know how to say this, but it's a cool, like, capped kind of pepper that grows in these colors. Beautiful. Sweet bonnet, giant Marconi, and a pimento. So those are all the new pepper varieties I'm going to try next year. I'm growing all my peppers in grow bags, so hopefully they don't hate me next year, because I had a rough year with peppers. My bell peppers are the only thing that really produced for me. And I don't know what kind of pepper it was. Another pepper did really good for me, but I did not label it. So, and I have multiple peppers that look similar to it. So I really honestly can't tell you what kind of pepper that is back there. So my last category we're gonna go through is the tomatoes. I have cherries and slicers in here that I'm just really excited for. Now, one thing I did notice with my garden last year is I didn't grow a lot of paste tomatoes. So I tried to pick up some more paste variety tomatoes because I do like just fresh eating paste tomatoes, but also because I really do want to make sure that I make pasta sauce and salsa next year, and I feel like a paste tomato would just be a lot easier. So these blueberries, this blush tomato, patio choice yellow. I'm very excited to try and grow these in a container. These baby Romas I thought were so cute. And then Cherry Falls. This was so intriguing to me, especially because I had been looking for things to put in hanging baskets, because there are multiple places to hang hanging baskets around the perimeter of our house. And I was just gonna get flowers or something. And then I came across this and I was like, nope, we're gonna have hanging baskets of cherry tomatoes all around this house next year. So I'm excited for that. A black strawberry, Queen of the Night. Sweetheart cherry. This is a free seed from Baker Creek, so I'm excited to try that one. I got a pink bumblebee because my purple bumblebee outproduced all my tomatoes. I will always have the bumblebee variety tomato in my garden, so I went ahead and grabbed the pink variety. Amish paste, I hear, is a very good paste tomato that a lot of people like. Orange icicle. Cherokee purple is another one I hear people really like, so I picked up some of that. Hughes is a new one, but it's a yellow, kind of sweeter tomato. This one caught my eye because it was on a Instagram ad that they had pushed to me, and the purple shoulders on this yellow slicer, beautiful. A Martino's Aroma, a Hungarian Heart, this cream sausage variety, banana legs, and then these ones were so cool. These get stuffed tomatoes. So I'm really excited to try these, especially because sometimes I don't like the seeds and the gel in my tomatoes. So I feel like this just solely being like flesh, I'm really gonna like that. I have a feeling. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling. And then I've never tried ground cherries before, but Jess from Roots and Refuge, her and her family like them. So I picked up some ground cherries to try. So that is all of the new seeds that I have purchased within the last couple months. Yeah, within the last 2 months. That I'm very excited to grow in the garden with you guys next year. And I'll try my best to take you guys through the journey with me and document everything the best I can. I have been very diligent in working on my garden plan for next year this last week. So I have my whole Excel sheet planned out. I drew my garden out today, and I think I've committed on where I'm actually going to plant things. And I've asked Case to, whenever he has free time, help me run up to the hardware store and get more lumber to build my 2 more garden beds. So I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. All of these varieties I'm very excited for. I am so thankful and grateful that I'm in the position where I'm able to afford seeds and varieties that I think are really cool, because just 3 years ago I didn't have that opportunity. So I'm very thankful for the position that I am in life right now to allow me to do this. And again, I just want to reiterate that you don't need all these fancy varieties to grow a garden. I remember watching people when I didn't have the means to grow the fancy things, and it made me a little sad knowing that I was in a place where I couldn't do that. But I'm so thankful that I turned my waiting room into a classroom and learned all that I could with what I had. Because I feel like it definitely did put me in a place where I will have better success because I know what I'm doing. So I highly encourage you guys just to learn with what you have. make do with what you got. You don't need anything fancy, even though people tell you that you need things fancy in today's society. Anyway, guys, I gotta get going here, so I've gotta let you go. But thank you for spending the evening with me, looking at my seeds together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys want to stick around and watch me over the next months get my garden beds built, go through this process of starting seeds and everything, and then eventually get them transplanted out into the garden when next growing season comes around, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join along on the journey. I really, like I said in a past video, I think, I'm new to this whole YouTube video thing, so I'm trying my best. I know it's probably cringy, but I'm learning, and really I just want to be able to share my garden with you guys, and be able to talk to like-minded people that also love gardening. So that's the intentions here of just growing a community where we can all have garden themed conversations and sit down and have little chats here and there with our cups of coffee and stuff. So, yeah, I will see you guys next Saturday right back here at Bartley's Bare Roots. And until then, don't forget to dream big. Bye, y'all.